Got this old camera stand. I thought it'd be fun to do a little playing from the bench on a Friday night. Welcome. I'm your host, Bob Marshall, Typewriter Muse. What do we got? Underwood Standard Portable. This guy's really neat. Very few times as a typewriter really excited to get back and get working again, but this is definitely one of them. So I got this cousin, and this cousin does a lot of YouTube live, and this cousin is working hard to explain to me the great ASMR, the great audience that's available to enjoy something like me wrenching on typewriters. I'm not sure there's anything specific you could learn or not learn, but maybe so. At the end of the day, it's simply about this is what we do here at Muse. It's a little late, but that's okay. None of my other staff is here. Everybody's home with their families. Here I am in the shop. Hmm. I guess that's part of being the boss. Coffee's always important as well on these later night ventures. I got this thing plugged in over here. Pardon my arm. So let's talk about this beautiful three bank. This thing is definitely hip. I just gave the space bar a little bit of rubber. That's something I really enjoyed doing. I always replace the rubber on a space bar. That is, it'd be very rare if I didn't. And like I said, this particular machine was really covered in a lot of crap. You could tell it was very much well loved and used, and somebody really enjoyed it, worked it hard, and put it away wet, as one might say. So we took it apart, gave it one heck of a wet wash, and of course we dry them after that. Then we give them a metal treatment. These metal treatments really make all the difference in the world. Um, just really rehydrates the metal and reminds it that it's okay to be nice hydrated metal. Even metal dries out. The paint on metal and everything else in between. We got to put the platen back in. We actually make our own platens. I got a rubber supplier. This platens, if you look hard enough, you can see there's actually quite a bit of sulfur that was mixed in when they wrapped this rubber. But the supplier, well, the rubber's always just a percent or two different, but it's pretty consistent. We're able to work with it. It's just real nice to kind of do our own, and obviously I don't do that at this bench. We have a whole other outside bench we use. Oh, there's a live chat. Wood chipped it, said, have a great night. Well, thank you. Looks like I can see a few things, so I'll take a look at the camera every so often. And by camera, I mean my cell phone. Nothing too trick. It'll be nice and interesting to see how this treats people. But yeah, this is good stuff. I always prefer our platens once we're done. They're gonna have just a minuscule amount of grip. I don't like them super shiny, and by grip I probably mean more of like a matte finish. Wish there was a way to really show you all that matte finish that we like. So, oh, somebody's working on an old engine. All right. Yeah, I've worked on a lot of engines. Cars were my dad's thing. I've worked on a few car engines, but at the end of the day, I really prefer to work on motorcycle engines when I get to. But anyways, nice matte sheen on this. Extremely consistent. Looks good. So we're going to pop this sucker in. Got some super cool rollers. These rollers are actually old, but they still have good drometer. They feel really good. So no reason to replace them at this point. Like I said, I think somebody really worked this typewriter and had a good time with it till, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. How these rubber rollers turned out so good is beyond me. At that point, we just treat them, we clean them, we put them through a chemical bath, and then give them some toothing so they'll grab onto paper. Get this platen in. Putting platens in can always be a little tricky. The platens really depends on the make and model. I forgot the collar. I'll put this collar on. And again, this is a 3-bank Underwood, so it's a different beast. I've gotten to work on just a dozen of them or so. I have a customer who really loves them. I have a good friend who really loves them. So there's been several of them across this bench. Here in the Muse shop, believe it or not, this bench that you're looking at is one of 4. There's usually 2 other people in here working with me, and everybody's doing their own different job, whatever that may be. Move the light around for me. I may or may not be able to get this, I'm not sure. What's going to be important is the Hippocratic Oath, first do no damage. I can see the bar in there, it's just really out of whack. Sometimes I gotta chase it the other direction. Yeah, I can feel that bar is, I can see that it's quite high. Okay, there it is. Try to get her going here. Once this guy pops in, it just kind of pops and it's good to go. Okay, that's okay. Well, looks like there it goes. That's what we want. There we go. Just got to have a little patience. And I already put this, excuse me, I already put the screw in. Collar lock here. It goes very specific spot on the, sometimes that can be hard. It can be hard to find the flat spot on the round bar. I found it. There it is. Just got to feel it out. Tighten it tight, but not too tight. I don't know. Feels pretty good. Let's run it through. Oh boy, that looks real happy. Well, that's crooked. It's always about looking at how the customer is going to use it. Okay, this sucker's a little tight. Got to loosen this bar just a little. And just pull it this way. I should loosen that up. There we go. Okay, I just pulled it out a little. The carriage release, carriage free, have an issue. Okay, we're gonna get to typing. Oh, Cat Lover said hi. Hello. Hello from Riverside, California. Where's Riverside? Right in the middle of Southern California. And I tell you what, there's great advantage to that, especially as a typewriter guy. We get a lot of cool customers. We're very, very lucky. Looks like this guy isn't grabbing. A little grab if I hold it up. Sometimes you can just bend this stuff back into place. Sometimes you gotta Might get to use a pair of pliers with this one. Ideally, I would heat it, but I only need a little bit. Let's see, wait, these guys might be too big. Let's see. It's always just a little bit here and a little bit there. Well, almost. Trying to get the left margin, which happens to be on the back left side. Trying to get that right. Seems to be a bit unhappy. This is what tuning a typewriter is all about. There's always something to tune on a typewriter. I come from the world of rock and roll guitars. Tuning a guitar is pretty easy. Getting it set up, now that's an adventure. But I got real good at setting up guitars back in the day. Okay, well, that's good. Let's grab him. Might want it to grab a little bit more. Yep. So, getting these old typewriters tuned in where they're best for the typist who sits at his keyboard is just one of the cool things I get to do. That guy feels pretty good. Let's see. Oh, that guy's trying to stick. This guy's also trying to stick. Could just be in the segment here, who knows. One of the things we really enjoy doing is we get the typewriter all cleaned out, we get it right, then we let it sit for a few days. The trick to that is if there's any gremlins like this, hopefully they come out. Got another gremlin here. Something might be holding up in the escapement. I'm not sure. Yeah, this end's trying to stick. It's not producing any junk, but you never know. We can hit these things 1,000 times. We always do a nice chemical flush on everything. Outside, we've got a nice flusher. I'll just sit there and run it for an hour or two. Let all the junk pull out of the typewriter. Good thing about these is they don't have nearly as many arms as other typewriters can have, because it's got the caps and the figure. That all seems to be pretty hefty. Okay, so now it's stopped and knocked out. Of course, now it's happy as a plant. Yep, this thing's being a little difficult. Oops. What's in there? Lockers. Might have something more to do with this bar than anything. This green stick has a bit of lubricant on it, just a light lubricant, and it's nice. Does real good cleaning and rehydrating the metal again. Sometimes the metal wants to be cleaned 2 or 3 times. I hope y'all can hear me okay. I've actually got the fan on. It's got a little humid in Riverside today, which is not something we're used to. I suspect there are people all over the U.S. who are totally used to it. That's just not us. Oop. What do we got here? This guy might need a little bit of a bend. I can see it dragging on the outside. There we go. Let's see if the end needs a bend. I kind of just bend them with my hand. I've got some benders and whatnot, but these guys are pretty soft though, so. Okay, something's catching again. Might be the. Sounds like the vibrator. Is the vibrator catching on something? We use a pretty light lubricant, so it's pretty easy to just hit everything a few times. The lubricant mostly dries when it's done, so 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Okay, well that worked pretty well. Still just not catching very well here. When I pull it, it does well. I push it. Bell's working a little. You can't expect too much from these bells. It actually rings true, which is probably as good as you're ever going to get. Not very loud at all. This is just a green stick with a bit of foam on the ends. Oh, Tahoe Realm, I have a beautiful example of this machine. It types on now, but you've inspired me to type some time on the list tomorrow. I read this was the model that Hemingway took to Paris. He wrote on a book, but I can't remember which one. Well, it was probably the hills of something. Yeah, I don't know what book Hemingway would have written on one of these. You know, guys used to throw around typewriters like they did automobiles. Every few years they got another one. So it's definitely or they had different ones for different reasons. I always tell people typewriters are not lovers. You can have more than one and it's sociably acceptable. It's okay to have more than one car. This guy has got some bend to it. I'm trying to bend it out without breaking anything. And this is a mechanical feel. This is really what I get paid for, not be breaking this. I suspect I have an extra one. Yeah, I know I've got an extra one, but I prefer not to break it. Somebody bent it, who knows, 100 years ago. I wonder what year this thing is. I'll have to look it up on the database. Took a little bit to get through that there. So there'll be some more tuning to be done. I don't know what the rest of you like to do on a Friday night, but it's nice being in the shop here. The other employees aren't here. No customers are going to have an appointment this late. We enjoy being the premium shop here in Southern California. We do everything by appointment. So that just makes life easier for the customer and for us. Naturally, customers are going to have a lot of questions, and I think they all really deserve that time, effort, energy. How did that guy stick? So this is what we do, tune in the typewriters. Of course, I haven't even gotten to printing anything yet. I'm going to have to load some ribbon. This particular machine came with 2 different reels, and I thought that looked a little weird. So I'm going to trade them out for some solid, good old-fashioned metal American reels. And we'll have to load them. We'll have to load them every time, but that's okay. This machine's going to a poet here in Southern California. And said poet is really hooked on using it a lot. So I think that's great. I found some loose screws here on this table. Turntable. What would this be called? Well, housing anyways. These ones over here are loose as well. Usually we catch that kind of stuff before it gets to my bench, but sometimes not. That's always the biggest benefit of having so many people working on typewriters. We certainly don't do the old British system as piecework. Everybody, the machines go down the line. Everybody touches a machine. So if one person misses something, then the next person can easily catch it. And I think that's a wonderful process and procedure. I was going to say October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, that weekend, I'm going to be out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the birthplace of typewriters. They're having the Cordy Fest. You can find all that, cordyfest.com. I'm excited to be one of the presenters. We'll be doing some breakout sessions and whatnot. It gets pretty busy. I know Boston Typewriter Orchestra will be there, and they always put on a wonderful show. It's an entire orchestra of typewriters. I think there's, 8, 9, 10 of them. I forget, but they just do wonderful, wonderful music. It kind of reminds me of Stomp. That was an old group that just did percussion stuff. Although Stomp danced a lot. These guys dance a little. Whatever they're doing, it's remarkable. And they do it in this wonderful hall. The hall's right next door to where what we know today as a typewriter was invented. Christopher Lathan Scholl's, his shop was there. So him and 2 other guys, Glidden and I forget the other guy's name. Starts with a G. So yeah, they had a shop. It's now a parking lot. But they had a shop, and they were looking to, originally, I think they were looking to just print numbers. But they ended up inventing the typewriter. And of course, Remington built it. And that's a Scholl's and Glidden. That was the first of what we know today as a typewriter. I might be getting some of that information wrong. It's like a shelf trying to fall out of whack. It's good there, but I need to be like, you can throw it and it's good. Although this customer is quite young, but regardless, these machines really get out of whack with how much they travel. Oh, Mosey. I just got one of these the other day. It needs to repair and a good clean. Bell assemblies. MIA. Backspace doesn't work. Pretty little theme, though. That's a lot to be wrong with a typewriter. I'm not sure it's a typewriter at that point. Sounds like you just got a super cool metal box of a shell of what used to be a typewriter. Yeah, I don't know if we have a if we can help you with that. Let us know. That's what we do. We're a full service shop. We haven't met a typewriter we can't fix yet. Sometimes it's not economically feasible to fix it, but it's all different for everybody. It always scares me tightening up all these body screws near the paint. So don't want to slip. The bottom of these things, some of the screws are what adjust the heights on everything, but this guy's pretty neat. I'm excited to do this for this young person. This poet's quite young, so it's really exciting from my point of view to I really enjoy young people getting excited about typewriters. The new analog Luddites. Yeah, there's a lot of machines you can get just about anywhere, and boy, they don't work very well. So it's not uncommon for people to purchase machines and bring them on in for repair. Sometimes that can be hard because we learn it's cheaper and easier if they would have just bought it off the shelf from us. But sometimes you look at a machine and you go, well, there are many like it, but this one is mine. And we completely understand that. So whether you buy the machine from us, we got a whole view on our website. So whether you buy it from us or buy it somewhere else and bring it in for repair, it kind of always ends up costing the same. I always feel bad when people spend several hundreds of dollars or I don't know, anything more than $20 on a machine that doesn't work. Just doesn't very much seem worth it in my opinion, but everybody's different. There's just a little globby wart here. I might get my Dremel going. Try to clean up this segment. Pardon the noise. That's always fun because you want to work hard not to hit this chrome here. Although this chrome is in pretty bad shape. Not very shiny. Sometimes it takes me a minute to see all that. But we're very fortunate to have all this hard lighting. Hard lighting really helps view everything. Half the time I think we clean and remove and make things look good that people will probably never see it at the home or in daylight or at a coffee shop, wherever they may be typing. Because it's certainly not uncommon to, I don't know what that is. There's always this great little stuff that just ends up on my bench. There's an amplifier tube. I don't know. I know what that is. This goes over here. We actually wind all of our own ribbon. This is what came on the machine. You can see these are actually out of an Olivetti. They're kind of cool. They've got that old movie theme looking. And then this guy's out of wax. So I've got a real pretty set here that I matched once upon a time. I don't know how old that is, but anyways, we're going to take that. We're going to take one of our pre-rolled ribbon. We always have pre-rolled ribbon. We sell it. This is actually the packaging when we sell the doubles. Although it has like an alcohol wipe and a few other things in it when we sell it. This is the stuff we make. I do have a big winding system, that's hooked up to a drill and everything, but I have to load it. It's not ready to go all the time because we're kind of in the desert here. It can be a little hard. It can be a little hard to just leave this cool ribbon out. So we end up just leaving it all closed up, and when we run out of pre-rolled ribbon, we just roll a few hundred of them, or however many we can get off of a roll. The roll comes in I think it's 660 yards, so it's really big, really heavy. We put it in an old movie reel container and wind it off of that. And we can actually kill one of those pretty quickly. This particular machine has manual direction change. There's no auto direction change, so there's no reason to keep the eyelet. So we're going to 86 the eyelet. This fun little contraption, I actually got the idea from Joe Van Cleve. He's got something very similar. And at first I thought, well, I've got the big unit. There's no reason for this little guy. But then we realized it's actually easier for us to, it's easier and faster for us to wind it by hand than it is to plug everything, hook everything up. I'm pointing this way because that's where the apparatus is for the doing all the big ribbon. But we like to do our own ribbon. We wind it. We just, our ribbon supplier is really good and really on it. And we can wind our own ribbon pretty darn quickly. Some people like to just buy it from China. Okay, I get it. I don't think it's as good a ribbon. This ribbon that we have, it's pretty good at basically 1,000 pages or 2 years, whichever comes first. It really lasts a long time, and we like that. I could hook the drill up to this, but it's a pretty night. I got a few minutes. Who doesn't mind watching something cool spin? So my question is, maybe somebody can answer me real quick. Is it better like this, or is it better turned on the side? Oh, rotate. Oh, orientation is locked. Okay, so they lock it up and down. Well, maybe next time I'll do a bit of left and right instead of up and down. I think if I do it left and right, it appears on a television set better. Should be. I wish I would have thought of that beforehand. I'll learn. So this is almost done. It's so funny as humans how we think, oh God, this is taking forever. I guess I could time it. It's probably just 20 or 30 seconds. But it's nice. Nice to get it set up. It's all right here in my lap, in front of me on the bench, if you will. I'm good to go. It's all about process. The good, expedient process may not always look like it is that. I'm going to throw these tailings away. We'll get this all back together. I hang it up above my bench here on the rack that we put all the typewriters on. Looks like I've got a few viewers. You know, if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask them. Otherwise, I'm just enjoying the shop on a Friday night here in America. Oh, I forgot a piece. Again, I'm going to be in Milwaukee. Cordy Fest, October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I think. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yes, I'm way out here in California. And yes, I'm jumping on an airplane. Hang that up. Yes, it costs money because it's worth it. Okay, so this is a new one. So these are here. This is always very important to me, trying to keep track of everything before I lose anything. Yeah, I'll just trade them out. I'll keep these. We're going to unwind this. This is another thing, like unwinding ribbon. This ribbon isn't too bad, but it looks... You can tell by the red. If the red gets a little orange, you can tell it's Chinese. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can just... I wonder if you can see the differences in the reds here. This is how... You can look at this red and go, okay, well, that's red, but it's got a bit of orange as opposed to this red. You can really see this American red is red. And this one's kind of an orange red. So That's how I tell the difference. Does it matter? I don't know. I mean, to each their own. Now I'm covered in ribbon. Okay, there we go. That was just a few yards anyways. And I've got big bins for all this stuff. Put them over here in our stock. More plastic reels. A drawer full of metal reels. You name it, we got it. I probably should have put gloves on for that. I actually have a t-shirt hanging over here, an old t-shirt that I use to wipe. There's a lot of different chemicals. I don't want to cross-contaminate. Of course, it looks like I've got some stains on my hands as well. Best to just not look at my hands as a mechanic. They get real dirty real quick. I'll tell you, we don't get to glue too much around here, but if you get a chance, this is really proven to be neat, whether it's I don't know, rubber. I used it to repair like a wood case earlier. It takes a while to dry and set, but once you get it going, I'm pretty excited to really have a lot of fun with it. So damp it, glue it, clamp it. Collects a bit of water in the beginning. Oh, wait a minute. Your orientation changed for us to landscape when you moved your camera. It looks good either way. Oh, it actually changed because it told me it's not going to change. It says orientation is locked. Rotate back. Well, I guess all you get this, you get to see me more. If I put my head down. That ain't gonna work. Well, just, yeah, okay. Thank you for the information. Can you put new rubber on a platen for a Royal Model 5 typewriter and old flatbed type? Old flatbed type, huh? Flatbed. Well, the Royal Model 5, yeah, absolutely. We don't do just the platens. If you need just a platen done, you can mail it on over to JJ Short. That is Peter with JJ Short in New York. They do one heck of a business. You're welcome to send us old typewriter. We really enjoy being able to set up. I got another one here I need done. We really enjoy making sure we can set the platen to the typewriter. So if you are interested in getting your platen done, send it to JJ. All this stuff looks okay. Is this? No, this is. You know what? This stuff looks pretty good. I suspect it came off of a customer's machine. And I'm going to keep it to the side just in case I need to throw something in a machine real quick to test it. So yes, if you have a platen that you want to send out, that you're comfortable taking it out of the machine, yeah, send it to JJ. If you're not comfortable doing that, you're welcome to mail us the whole machine, wherever you may be. We actually have a service for that where we give us a call and we can figure out where you are and we can build you a box and we can ship you the box. And that's a lot cheaper and easier, we have figured out, than you shipping it yourself. If you take your typewriter without a box down to UPS, for example, they're going to charge you about $120 just to ship it one way to us. And we saw that and realized that's pretty ridiculous. So depending on where you're located, we can usually start the service, depending on the size of the machine too. It goes, anywhere from $80 to maybe $150. If it's a monster machine, monster standard, and you're in, I shipped one the other day to New Hampshire, or was it Connecticut? Oh gosh, boy, that's embarrassing. We get to ship a lot of machines, so sometimes I forget. But anyways, it's definitely an easier and more affordable, and it makes more sense for us to do it that way. We can, give us a make and model. We can ship you a box that's made and set up, And it's usually, it's a box inside of a box. It's 2 boxes. We like to double box. That is, the outside box is a double layered box. The inside box is a single layer box. We can double wrap it several inches. It probably costs an extra $5, sometimes $10 to do that, but we've learned it's worth it. Which one was that? F? Let's see what's F doing. Give this a little massage. I can see it's almost, well, that's the opposite. Okay, there we go. Oh, for crying out loud. I like to catch all these gremlins now. The other thing is this particular key is a little low. Yeah, if you got the platen now, yeah, just send it over to JJ. They do a remarkable service. Even I send stuff to JJ sometimes, really weird size European stuff. It's not that I mind doing it. It's just my rubber supplier. So there's probably 8, 9, 10 different sizes of rubber you need on the platens. They come in tubes, and my supplier can only do I think seven sizes. So sometimes I'm missing a size, and it's usually like a strange European machine. Anyways, I send those to JJ. They really do good work. I'm a big fan of their work. And they make it real easy too. I appreciate it costs a few dollars, but rubber is expensive. This platen, for example, with rubber, the amount of rubber that's on it and the work is $185. That's today. It may go up tomorrow. Who knows? Rubber is really getting pricey. Okay, let's put some ribbon in, huh? Make sure I got the direction right. Oh, yeah. See, it's catching at the very end. I got to figure out what's catching here. Something somewhere. Okay, it stops there, and then something catches. And I know I'll find it, but I could find it now. I think, yeah. It's like the backspace is being. It's like the margin stop is in the wrong place on that side. So it's like it's catching right as the escapement's at like half position. So I may have to do a little grinding. I just do a little grinding on the margin stop with the Dremel, and 9 times out of 10 that gets it going again. But we'll see. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. Which one was that? S? No, the S is sticking. Yep. This D is a little low. Certainly don't want that. Either the letter D is low or everything else is high. 9 times out of 10, I can just kind of bend this by hand. I may have to get the tool. I have to get the tool out for this one. I don't know if it'll fit though. I have to get creative. Get this guy going. I don't think. Yeah, I think the space bar is in the way. Yeah, this isn't going to work at all. Who the heck thought up this idea? That was dumb. Let me just. These bars are so small. Okay, well, kind of surprised. I wonder if I can just. Oh, wow. Hit it with my fingers. That got it closer. They're never going to be super duper correct and close. I don't know. This piece of felt, luckily they use felt, and we don't always have to replace the felt. We just move it over 1/4 inch, 1/16 of an inch, whatever. And sometimes that causes the issues as well. Of course, I just found some funky little hair stuck in here. Felt really likes to attract all the hair. I don't know. It's like a real short gray hair. I don't know where that could have come from. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, man. You know you're old when you're pulling gray hair out of customers' typewriters. I'm only 40 something. Only 40 something. I've been a mechanic my entire life. I started even as a kid wrenching on stuff, cars and whatnot. And by the time I was 19, I was working, or 18, I was working as an auto mechanic. And I really enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy exactly where I worked, but now that I'm older, maybe I didn't have the right attitude. But I certainly wasn't one who was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I went to college, studied music, but auto mechanics were really neat. Then I started an electronics repair shop. I really enjoyed electronics. I started that with some friends. That failed miserably. And then I had another shop across town, and that worked out real well. I did that for many years. We did amps and guitars, and that's why you'll find things like electronic tubes on my bench. I was actually working on an amplifier here last week just for funsies, and I've done a lot of motorcycles. Work as a building mechanic for an entire building for a local government. So that's a lot of fun. I really enjoy buildings. I like to say I'm a bit of a building pervert, if you will. I just think buildings are really neat. And typewriters are pretty easy. I was able just to fall into them. And they're not always easy to work on. What they are is easy to figure out because there's not much to them. And I'm certainly not breaking my back working on them. I don't know what it takes to get this guy to flop over. Okay, the stop for the universal bar is not doing its stopping thing like it's supposed to. Make sure that guy's over there. This guy's here. Oh, oh, oh. So that's how I got into typewriters. But typewriters are just metal and rubber, sometimes wood. Metal and rubber. So I'll tell people, really, I'm a rubber dealer. We really just clean the metal. After that, it's pretty good to go. Yeah, this guy's just not grabbing right. I don't like it. I think we'll give it just a little more oomph. If I can grab it with this guy. So that pair of pliers kind of scares me. Well, that's as good as that can get. That one's pretty good. And I think, yeah, this guy kicks all this over. That's what stops the universal bar, but it's not doing it. These things usually get dropped on their backs or something. And I suspect at this rate, I suspect this bar here is too far that way, so I gotta find a way to wrench it back this way. That's okay, we'll get it. My dad's a TV repairman, got an awesome set of tools. We can fix it. You never know what tool you're going to use for what job. I'm thankful to know as many tools as I do. go. For this one, I think we're gonna end up putting two tools together. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I hope. Real nice if we could just. Oh, let's see. There we go. Sometimes it's knowing what not to do. Okay, to be nice to things. Yeah, that feels real good. I like that. This guy comes down to this pivot point. I'm going to give the pivot point a little more lube. It's kind of hidden, so it's always nice to make sure all these points have really soaked up the lubricant. We may have to bend this finger in just a little. It's nice when the fingers have a little pressure on them. Just enough to keep them from sliding out of whack. This one's, there we go. Oh, the Z doesn't want to work, which is not uncommon. It's kind of bent in a funky way. New tool, which is usually here. There we go. I just kind of have everything splayed out when I use it. It's kind of a neat tool. I actually made this guy. And if we can get it to do what we need it to do, the Z is actually bent a little left and right instead of left and right. That doesn't make any sense. The camber is off. It's got bad camber. No. Touching just barely. Bet you a young man got a hold of this typewriter. I know, I used to be a young man, but boy, young men, they just like to grab and bend on things, and there we go. Looks straight. We'll try that. So I always like to tell people, biggest enemies for typewriters are household dust and young boys. That's just how it works out. Make sure the segments, it's still trying to produce a little something, so no bueno. What we'll end up doing is, when we're completely done with it, we'll when I've QC'd it, we run it through a regime of QC tests. Once we do all that, we'll sign off on it. Then we let it sit for several days. Sometimes a week, but it usually works out to 3 or 4 days. Put it in its case, whatever. And then we pull it out and test it again, just to make sure no more gremlins creep up. Okay, that guy's trying to drag there. Little draggage. I think we got it. Put the ribbon, yield vibrator. Ta-da! Well, we gotta do there we go. On this model, you gotta do the top first. Every model is different. That's why it pays to pay attention. And again, in our service, we have several people. Several people looking at the typers. Okay, the print. Okay, the red works. And the T's unhappy. And the vibrator's jumping just a little too high. Getting some red at the bottom. It rotates. Yeah, we're getting some bleed through on the bottom, so we're gonna have to really take a look at what we need to do to. Well, I think. Yeah, this vibrator circuit can be touchy to say the least. Again, I've gotten to work on a dozen or maybe 20 of these, so I've had to just rip them apart and bend them all back into shape and who knows what else. Okay, there we go. The universal bar stops. Oh, that's a backspace. I'll tell you personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the 3. It's just harder for me to type on. This T's still trying to stick. And I'm feeling it out when I do this. I can see it and feel it. And there we go. Might have a ribbon advance issue. Okay, it's going good that way. How do we get it going good the other way? One thing we'll always know is ribbon advance is, it really is the most complicated circuit on the typewriter. This one I had already moved around a little to repair it, but it might need just a little more. Proof's always in the pudding. Nothing's ever repaired until it does what it's supposed to be doing. Hiya, come here, you. Yeah, the first my first book that I wrote, I wanted to write a lot of it on my grandfather's typewriter, and I didn't get the chance to because my typewriter didn't work, and the guy here locally in Riverside had passed away. So that's when I really looked at how do these typewriters work. And guess what? I just done figured it out. Yeah, I may get to play with this ribbon advance a bit more. What is this guy? Yeah, it's going to be in this left spool. Okay, I see. Right now they're both on. I haven't figured out why I enjoy these machines so much. It's just how it works out. I just have such a great passion for them. All that they can do for us, all that they've done for us throughout time. Oh, I see the problem. Okay. Oh, this whole guy's okay. Well, no wonder. No wonder. Trick is always be okay being as patient as possible. I have great patience for machines. It's people I have trouble with sometimes, but not always very patient for people. I'm not always as patient as I need to be for people. But typewriters, motorcycles, other machines, yeah, man, count me in. Just the funny way of it. So this guy has a cool finger setup. I just bent it up. There we go. And then I'm gonna give it a little bend back down. Working hard not to scratch anything. Ta-da, as they like to say. Oops, didn't go back. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, that's strange. I wonder what. Oh, I get to take this plate off and have a look-see. It's going to be 3 screws here. Every typewriter that goes across our benches, it's always something special to us. Because they're all very special. They're all very different. It's very exciting to see what they've been through, where they've been. The person who originally purchased them is most likely no longer with us. What were they thinking when they walked into a shop and looked at all the different makes and models and dropped the equivalent of, $3 or $4, $5, $6,000 in today's money on a typewriter? Took it home and just started doing the business they needed to do. Maybe they did reports. Maybe they had an employer who had them doing things. Who knows? It's very exciting, though, if you ask me. It's very exciting to look at it and think, where has this machine been? Okay, so this guy has to screw into here. And there is no screw. Kind of neat. And, felt, I'm glad they used felt. Felt never goes bad. Yeah. This guy's just missing a screw. Okay. Well, I'm glad I found it. Hope the customer doesn't mind a few more dollars in a screw. I doubt they will. I can draw the dust is off of here. Okay, so this screw is loose. I may really have to go through this machine again and just make sure I've got all the screws tightened down. There's a lot of loose stuff here. That's no bueno. That's Southern California talk for no good. We have such a wonderful, diverse culture here in Southern California, and that includes a lot of Spanish and Espanol. And needless to say, I'm a bit of a. I get to be around a lot of Espanol. I really like Bonto music, if anybody's interested. I haven't found my favorite artist yet, but boy, when it's playing, I think it's really neat stuff. Okay. The hard part on this one is we're going to need a screw and a nut. Where the heck do I find a nut? Other than myself. A lot of extra screws. Kind of cool. Well, I got a few nuts in here. This is definitely the custom work that it can be real hard on the psyche if you let it. That guy's kind of nice. I'm just going to have to take out a few different nuts and see what I can find. I'm sure I can find some with similar black head that'll look real nice, especially on the face here the way it is. If I was smart, I'd have a lot of these nuts already married up with the bolts, but it doesn't appear that I'm that smart. I did not have that much forethought. Oh well. Oh, my coffee to get lonely. Try to angle this down a little. Can it be done? I mentioned when I first came on here, yeah, a cousin of mine kind of talked me into it's okay to be live. It's good. Nice ASMR. People might enjoy it. And I hope after this I can find a way to kind of save it. Put it up on the tube. The YouTube. And that way it can just kind of keep playing. Maybe, I don't know if it can be an hour long though. I might lose all this. I don't know. And Friday nights I'm not always here in the shop. Sometimes I'm actually out with a life. I got a bit of a life. Sometimes. Not often. Got a bit of a life to live from time to time. I think last Friday night I was out at a bar. My buddy's band was playing. That was fun. I don't get out too often, so it's nice to get out a little bit. I even had a beer. I'm not much of a drinker. But I can see the romance in it. I just had a beer with dinner while my friends played. As I used to be a rock star and work in, of course, I worked in guitars and amps for so long, so I have a lot of experience in that. I'm just sizing up screws to nuts right now, seeing what the options are. I want the options to be good. This might really work. This one's just a little off, so it's real tight. And that'll keep it from having an issue in the future. That's what we want. I don't want this to ever be an issue again. We always do our very best to make sure the machines can go for another 20 years once they leave. Greetings from Poland. How very cool. I've never been to Poland. I've been to France. I've been to the land of the Limeys in England. I'm half English myself, so I haven't gotten to Poland yet, though. It looks really pretty. I had a lot of friends who were Polish growing up. Well, Southern California is such a great melting pot for that. Which is funny, there's probably a lot more Polish people in the Midwest and thereabouts. So this is kind of making its own thread as it goes in, which is really neat. It's just tight enough to really hold it in well. I think it's going to be a real winner for the customer. Well, and for me. Get this part repaired. I think there's a lot of benefit to that. Norway? No, I've been to Norway. I think that's the one next to Finland and Sweden. Right. Oh, wait. Oh, man, I might have embarrassed myself not knowing my geography very well. Y'all have my vote. I know I get a lot of messages from people. They said it's real hard to get rubber in different parts of the EU. And, well, I give you credit. I guess it's near impossible to ship things to the state. That's a real bummer. JJ Short does a good job. It's always rubber. There's always going to be that consumable factor that falls out on any machine. Cars, motorcycles, they're all the same. The answer is very simple. The answer is rubber. Rubber is a great consumable, and it's going to go bad. So wherever you are, you'd be amazed though who you can get to make your rubber. It might be pretty pricey. My rubber, I got to buy several thousands of dollars worth at a time, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's all good business. And honestly, that's probably what I go through in just 3, 4, 5 months, give or take. We go through a lot of rubber. Well, the typewriters we work on need a lot of rubber. It's just that time. Machine hasn't been going good for how many years? Yeah, it's going to need rubber. Well, I think that's going to be good. That's a little tight. I'll loosen it just a smidge. It's probably tomorrow in Poland. Oh, it's pretty late here tonight. It's here in Southern California. Yeah, it's 11:10, 11:12, whatever it is, p.m. in the evening. It's dark out there. Luckily, I own the property here, so I can be here as early or as late as I want. There's no landlord to tell me differently. I am the landlord. Landlord's kind of a jerk. Might be able to get that D a little straighter now. I think something like this would work, but I might end up damaging other things, so may have to just using a piece of metal against the frame and the paint, so I got a pad against it right now. There we go. And up. Okay. No, I might have pulled it out of socket. Oh, I sure did. That's okay. I can fix that right quick. Hey, you, get back here. All the fun mistakes that to happen on the bench. We'll get it. Almost. Usually I listen to audiobooks when I'm having fun wrenching on these typewriters. I'm not sure how this guy popped out so easily, because he's not popping in very easily at all. Come here, you. Almost. Oh, it's like right on the edge. Well, this is a little embarrassing. Oh, well, it's all part of it. Trick to mistakes is always understand, A, you're going to make them, but B, as long as you can make up for them, you're going to be fine. A lot of you are probably looking at my tool set too, thinking, what the heck is that crap? A lot of my tools have been with me for, 30, 40 years. Well, just a few for 40, at least 30 years. So I have a great relationship with my tools. I just know them well. They're pretty old, but I'm okay with that. Almost. Trick to anything typewriter is do it gingerly. Nice and gingerly. That's what the typewriter wants. Anything other than that, well, you might break something. There we go. Nice and gingerly. Ta-da! Get this guy bent back together, maybe. Maybe not. I might have bent that key over a little. Everything's negotiable. Well, almost everything. Well, that was embarrassing. I just did it again. Huh. Very strange. Well, at least now I see where the issue is. Okay, first things first, I'm going to give this guy a little bend now that it's up and out of whack. I think, I don't know, it's getting Getting late here. I'm getting tired. Problem with getting tired on this is I may make a dumb mistake, so oh, wrong one. I'm gonna have to make a tool. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that guy comes forward. That guy. All I need is just a little. Okay, I think that'll do it. I hope. I've been wrong before, though. But nothing's broken yet. I really see typewriters as that great relationship between man and machine. Very similar to a bicycle. You know, bicycles just have, it really takes good manpower to go forward on a bicycle. That's why they've been so popular for so long. I'm really of the impression that typewriters are very similar. Typewriters just offer that great relationship. Now we know why Tom Hanks likes them so much. I'm glad he does. It's a lot of good business for me. Certainly enjoy him as a customer. Lucky me. Lucky us. Okay, now I'm just gonna. Oh, give it up. There we go. And a little alley-oop. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's it. Oh. And I got the D back up even with the S and F. That is the two keys next to it. So it looks really good. Pretty darn close to straight. Showing y'all. Okay, we're gonna put this in. And get the front plate back in. That's all repaired. This guy will be good to go. I'm pretty excited. As I said, this is going to a young poet, local young poet here in Southern California. Again, I'm always pretty excited when young people get smart and start playing with typewriters. They're great analog machines. Wipe my fingers off. Again, I got this rag hiding in the corner here. It's just an old t-shirt clamped onto my other bench over here. Okay, good stuff. Bob Marshall here, Typewriter Muse. Thanks for joining us Friday night on the bench. Always fun to spend a little time with fellow clackers here on the YouTube. I look forward to doing this again soon. I hope this saves. I hope the rest of you keep on clacking. Have a good weekend, life, experience. Have a good experience with typewriters. Okay, bye for now. Wonder how I turn this off. Are you sure you want to stop the stream?